In the theater of Australian politics, some relationships seems permanent fixtures until suddenly they are not. Today, we're witnessing what might be the most significant political restructuring of our generation. Imagine waking up to discover that a century-old political partnership has suddenly dissolved. That's exactly what happened. National Party leader David Littleproud made his stunning announcement. The coalition that has defined conservative politics in Australia for decades is no longer more. It's a systematic shift that redraws the map of power in Canberra and reshape how regional and urban Australia are represented. Consider this. Only three times in over 100 years has this alliance fractured. Today, we're living through the political history that future generations will study. Behind closed doors, the fracture points were building: nuclear power, regional funding, supermarket competition. But beneath these policy disagreements lies something more fundamental: a struggle for identity in Australia whose demographic and priorities are rapidly evolving. What does this mean for rural communities whose voices have long been amplified through this partnership? For urban liberals navigating a changing electorate? For a Labor government watching the opposition divided itself? Today, on Part 8A, we're joined by Dr. Daniel Fascio of UniSA Justice and Society, who brings unprecedented insight into this political earthquake. We'll explore not just what happened, but what it means for Australia's political future. Is this truly the end of the coalition as we know it, or just another chapter in a complicated relationship that has survived a century of Australian politics? Stay with us as we unravel this compelling narrative that affect every Australian, whether they realize it or not. I'm your host, Miko Santos, and this is Part 8A. Hello, Dr. Daniel Fascio. Welcome to the Part 8A. How are you today?
Good. How are you? And thank you for having me on.
Thank you so much for that. All right, let's dive right in. The coalition just split up after a decade together. Walk us through your immediate reaction when you heard David Littleproud announcement. Were you genuinely surprised, or were there's warning sign we should have been watching?
There were some warning signs. Both senior members of the National Party and the Liberal Party had each suggested that perhaps a split was best. So it wasn't a total surprise. But when it came down to the crunch, I didn't really think that they would split. So in that sense, taking that final step to split, yes, that was a little bit of a surprise to me. Yes.
Hmm. David mentioned this has only happened three times in over a century.